Did you hear me?
And a good morning, everyone. Dave Garner with you here as we welcome you to the instant replay right here on FYNTV.com. Thank you for joining us. I cannot believe May is this week. We have rapidly transitioned towards the summer season, but still plenty of spring sports to talk about. And the bulk of today's show will center around high school sports. And as you know, this program and Team FYN Sports is all about promoting and highlighting student athletes in a positive way. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. If it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it. Let me tell you, we're all over it today, especially in Pickens County, Gilmer County, and Dawson County. We got a ton of news out of Dawson that we're going to share with you. We have got a packed hour for you. The next 60 minutes, I guarantee it's going to be a roller coaster ride. So strap in, folks, and hang on, because we're going to take you through the world of local sports here along our Highway 515 corridor and beyond. Now, right off the bat here today, we're being joined by a very special guest via our V-Call technology. We have with us the athletic director of Pickens County and head football coach of your PHS Dragons, Chris Parker, joining us live right here on the instant replay. Coach, how are things going? All right, we're still waiting on Coach Parker right there, getting ready to put him in there. We are expected to have Coach Parker on with us here in just a moment. I will tell you that Luther Kinsey is also live in Pickens County this morning. He had an interview with Coach Mike Duffy, the new head boys basketball coach at PHS, and we're going to have that interview for you in segment 3 of our program. Now, in case you missed last week's show, I do want to let folks know how it all works. We talked last week in the first segment about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of instant replay, how all this got going here, and why I'm the one sitting behind the desk. Very excited about this opportunity here in week 2 as we kind of transition now into the program. We got a lot of things to talk about, and one thing that we're always going to do with this show is we're going to center it around local sports, around high school sports in particular, middle school and high school. But we will touch on some regional and national sports as well, and we're excited to do that. The Atlanta United with another big win over the weekend, 4-1 over Montreal. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show in our fourth quarter segment breakdown. And we will also have with us, we will talk a little bit about the Atlanta Braves. What a tear they have been on lately. 2 of the youngest players in Major League Baseball right now are 2 of the best, and they're playing for the Braves. And Ronald Acuna, who of course got called up, and Ozzie Albies, who I had the pleasure of watching over the last several years over in Rome with the Rome Braves, and now he has of course since been called up as a starter for the Atlanta Braves, and what a job he's done. Again, this show is broken down into 4 quarters. We have our first segment, which is right now our first quarter, if you will, our second quarter of the program. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that have been going on in the way of golf and track and field, and also our taking it to the next level segment, where we highlight those who are headed on to college, signing scholarships and so forth. And we've got a slew of folks to talk about as we go on through the next couple of minutes of this program. In our third segment, again, we'll have the interview with Mike Duffy as we talk a little bit about changing of the guard. And in our fourth and final segment, that's where we will bring it all back together with our regional analysis. So I'm getting a thumbs up, I think, from inside the control room there. So it does look like we now have Chris Parker with us, joining us right here live via V-Call. There he is. Coach Parker, how you doing?
Doing good, Dave. How about you?
All right, there we go. I think I can hear you now. All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate you being on board with us right here. Talk a little bit. I know the bit of Pickens County is the renovation of the stadium. There's a lot going on there. Talk a little bit about what's going on there, and when we can expect the completion of the new facility.
Scoreboard, and should be completed Can you hear me, Dave? So you can't hear this thing.
All right, we're still experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty right here as we try to patch in the audio there from Coach Chris Parker. Again, stay with us, folks. I promise we're going to make this work right here as we continue to experiment with a few things. But we have some really neat features that we're going to be doing on this program, and we certainly appreciate Coach Chris Parker being one of our guinea pigs, if you will, being one of the first folks to V-call us in right here. And that's one of the things we're planning on doing with this program each and every week, is having coaches on. Of course, Luther Kinsey, our Team FYN Sports guy, will also be joining us not only live in the studio as he did last week some, but also through our V-call technology. And we're excited to make that work, and we will make that work, folks. I certainly promise that. Let's talk a little bit about the renovation. Coach Parker, again, leading into that a little bit. The renovations to the stadium are drawing near completion, and it's a very exciting time for folks in Pickens County. Now, a 32-foot video board is currently being installed. In fact, it does look like that portion has been completed, and the board seems to be up and running, so that is very exciting. And I know a lot of folks out there, there was a lot of debate and speculation about the way that the schools are changing in Pickens County and so forth. And again, this is a sports show, so we're not BKP talks about the politics in his program over the last couple hours, so we focus on the sports side. But I will say that once this facility is completed, I think it will do it'll do a lot for the community in Jasper and surrounding areas, of course, of Pickens County. On Friday of this past week, the asphalt crews were laying down the surface of the new track and the turf for the playing surface on the field. And I caution that I don't say football field or football stadium, because obviously a high school stadium, especially the one in Pickens County, you get a lot more use out of it. Soccer, obviously track. There are a lot of folks that use this field throughout the year, so it's not just football that this is going to benefit ultimately, and so that's what we love about it. Again, AD Chris Parker will be completed soon, and he is anxious to get out there, and I know those guys are, as we near spring football practice as well. So again, the crews are installing the new turf, and they are the same ones, get this folks, the same ones that completed the turf at Mercedes-Benz, the new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, which of course will host the Super Bowl next year. So again, a lot of folks, a lot of work going on behind the scenes right now with the completion of this new stadium, and we're excited to have the coverage for you right here as part of the instant replay. Still working on patching Coach Parker through, and we will do that hopefully here soon. But let's transition into baseball for just a moment. Speaking of the Pickens Dragons, their season came to an end on Friday as they went up against the #1 seed Cartersville Purple Hurricanes. We all know about Cartersville, the tradition that they have, especially in high school baseball, and they won both games of a doubleheader over the Dragons in first-round action on Friday. But what a season for the Pickens Dragons. They've had a couple of different guys signing college scholarships. We've talked a little bit about Joseph Gossett moving on to the next level. What a career he's had at Pickens High School. What a season overall for the Dragons. They just run into a buzzsaw in the first round. Anytime you go up against a Cartersville team, year in and year out, you're going to go up against a big challenge there, to say the least, and that's exactly what the Purple Hurricanes posed to the Dragons on Friday. So the Pickens season does come to an end, but what a season it was as they qualified for the GHSA State Baseball Playoffs. How about the Fannin County Rebels? Wow. What can you say? A true heartbreaker right here. The Rebels again making the GHSA State Playoffs, where they took on Franklin County and forced 3 games. The Rebels actually took game 1 with 11 runs on 11 hits in that first game, but in games 2 and 3 it was Franklin County who pulled out the wins. Franklin again winning convincingly in the second game. It would come down to a game 3, and it was Franklin County who had a 2-run walk-off homer in the 10th inning to win that game. Now, high school baseball games typically go 7 innings, so to go 10 innings, you're almost playing basically another game and a half. So what a battle, though. I'll tell you what, I'm proud of those Fannin County Rebels that battled all the way to the end and fell just short. And I mean just short of a second-round appearance in the AAA State Baseball Playoffs. But again, congratulations to Fannin County, Pickens County, on a wonderful high school baseball season, and we're getting into that time of year where we're beginning to transition. You know, we're getting right here towards the end of the school year, towards the end of the spring season. We're going to start to see sports kind of fall off a little bit. We're going to start to transition, talk a little bit about spring football practice and the summer ahead, and then kind of begin our countdown into the fall, because I know everyone's anticipating an awesome football season here locally as well. Well, that's going to wrap up our first segment, our first quarter, if you will, of the program. We appreciate you guys joining us right here on this week's Instant Replay. We're up against our first time out. When we return in our second quarter of the program, we will talk a little bit more about golf and track from this past weekend, and our Taking It to the Next Level segment featuring some of the latest college signees from our local area. That on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Yellow pollen means green cash at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. The spring savings event is on at Days, and the discounts are deep. Now save up to $11,000 off select new 2018 Chevy Silverados, or up to $6,000 off select new 2018 Equinox. Pick any Chevy you want and save a bunch during the spring savings event going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
One.
And we welcome you back to this week's Instant Replay. Again, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about here in quarter number 2 of our program, but we do want to apologize for some of our first segment audio difficulties. However, we do have joining us the old-fashioned way on the old telephone right here on the Instant Replay, Coach Chris Parker, the athletic director and head football coach in Pickens County. Coach, thanks for your patience this morning. Appreciate you being with us, and we'll get that all working at some point.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate you being on with us.
Glad to be here. Glad it worked out. I probably didn't need to be that visual anyway. People need to hear me and maybe not see me. Maybe that was the problem.
I know that the most disappointed person is going to be BKP because he's your biggest fan, man. No doubt about that. We wanted you to make an appearance on here, but we'll get it working. We'll get it working, no doubt.
Yeah, he probably didn't realize I caught the very end of the show where he said he wanted to stay on and argue with me.
Right, exactly.
But I noticed he didn't stay on, so he didn't really want to argue.
Right, exactly.
So maybe next time.
Yeah. Well,
he tried his best.
Yeah, he's definitely within earshot, I'm sure, of what we're talking about right now.
That's right.
Yeah, Coach, thanks for being with us. I talked through some of the talking points of the new stadium, but folks want to hear from you, not me. Talk a little bit about the progress of the stadium, where we're at. From what I understand, the new electronic video board is in. Tell us a little bit about where we're at with the completion of that project.
Well, we went ahead and, as you know, we approved a renovation to the stadium, first time in about 20 years, and trying to eventually move the baseball field to the high school. That's kind of a longer-term plan. But to do that, had to turf the football field, and we put a new scoreboard in and redid the lights and had to renovate the track. The track was actually probably in most dire need of any of those things to repair. And so they can only work on the track when it's a certain temperature, and so they're going to have most of the track done, but probably not all the track done. But the turf will be done at graduation. Everything else, it'll be done at graduation here in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and probably be done well before that. Probably be done the next week or two. Right. But definitely be done before graduation.
Absolutely, that'll be so. What an honor for those seniors that are graduating to be able to step out on that turf and really be the first ones to really use it.
That's
technically.
Right. That's
so
right.
That'll be exciting. Let's switch gears. Talk a little bit about spring sports. What a busy spring sports season it has been in Pickens County. Obviously, golf. We're going to talk a little bit later about Catherine Dinsmore, track, of course, the sectionals wrapping up. Give us your take of how the spring season has went overall.
Yeah, we're real pleased with our spring sports. Baseball made the playoffs, soccer made the playoffs in boys' side, and we had a girl qualify for the state meet, and golf, girls tennis team made the state playoffs, and track and field sent several on to sectional state, finished second in the region. So all 5 of your spring sports there, we had some success, and we're real proud of wrestling and girls basketball in the winter. So they both had really good seasons. So it was a good season across the board. We're definitely making strides in our athletic department, and just trying to get better. And really proud of the coaches and the players who really have done a good job this spring.
There we go. Absolutely. Now, there are 5 sports in the spring, as you alluded to, but I guess technically there could be a 6th if you include spring football practice. I know that obviously that's on the horizon, and in addition to your role as the athletic director, countywide AD, you're also the head football coach, and what a job you have done with that program over the last several years. Talk a little bit about spring football practice being on the horizon and the excitement surrounding the football program in Pickens County.
Yeah, it's exciting time. We start next Monday, a week from today, and probably, you hate to put expectations on yourself, and coaches are notorious for downplaying things, but I will tell you, it's probably as exciting of a spring anticipation of it, I guess, as we've had since I've been here. We got a majority of our team back from last year, and we do have to replace a few key guys, but a lot of our guys that are coming back have played on Friday night. So I don't know that I remember in 18 years having as many kids back as we have now. I don't, hopefully that's not setting us up to fail. That's not going to win us any game. We start with 0 points every game, but it is nice to have, guys that have played in the system and kind of know what to do. And, the other thing is this is my 7th year here. And so we've got kids coming through who've come through the middle school program, come through the high school program doing the things we've asked them to do. And so it's always neat to see the fruits of that labor. Sometimes, we got coaches who, put time and pour into those 6th and 7th and 8th grade kids, knowing they're not going to coach them for 4 or 5 more years. Well, my 4 or 5 years are coming up, so you're getting these guys that we invested in years ago that now can play. And that's exciting to see.
And you guys have had a lot of guys go on to the next level. Obviously Shannon Brooks was certainly a big name, but since then a couple other guys. It seems like as you mentioned, growing the program from the middle school and even the rec leagues for that matter. With you having been here now 7 years, you've seen a group of elementary school kids basically come through and are now getting ready to graduate. It's got to be nice to be able to really see the full maturity and development of some of the guys that have come through your system.
It really has. Probably the most rewarding part of all of it. Just seeing the guys grow as kids and to semi-adults, and then it's great to see them when they're 25, and you see them out too. So we've got guys from age 24 or 5 all the way down that we've coached here in Pickens County, and so that's kind of neat. I'd like to see them out. Some of them have been very successful playing football or otherwise. But we have seen, I think we've had 6 people with Division I, Division II offers in the last 6 years.
Right.
So, and that's a big number based on the history of what's happened for 60 years, you know.
There we go. Well, the Pickens Dragons certainly headed in the right direction. Coach, thanks for being with us. Very excited about the things going on in Pickens County, especially with the renovation of Dragon Stadium. Certainly looking forward to the completion of that, and we're ready for football.
That's right. Good to talk to you, Dave. Glad to have you on this show, man.
Yes,
if I can
sir.
help you guys anyway, let me know.
All right, we appreciate that. Coach Chris Parker joining us right here live on the Instant Replay via the phone. And Coach Parker, again, the system-wide, county-wide athletic director and Pickens County and head coach of the Pickens Football Dragons, joining us right here on the program. Let's talk a little bit about taking it to the next level. We just got through talking with Coach Parker about guys moving on to the next level. He said they've had 6 or 7 D1 and D2 offers or so over the last 6 years in Pickens County. What an honor that is. And the accolades continue to flow for local student athletes in our local area. On April 16th, Dawson County, Connor Bearden signed a national letter of intent to play baseball at Truett McConnell College in Helen, Georgia for Coach Mike Crowley and the Bears. Congratulations to Connor. He has been a stud as his time as a Tiger in Dawson County, and we certainly wish Connor all the best as he gets ready to take his game to the next level, hence the name of this segment. Now, this segment is not necessarily something we're going to have every week, obviously, but right here towards the end of the school year, it is a popular segment because we have so many people that are signing and moving on to the next level, and that is always great to see. As I said earlier in the show, this program is all about highlighting and promoting student athletes in a positive way, and what better way can we honor those students than by talking about them moving on and contributing at the college level. And one thing we really want to make an effort to do right here, especially not just with Team FYN Sports, but also with the Instant Replay, is follow the progress of these guys who are moving on to the next level, and share some notes with you as these guys and girls continue to excel in their respected sports at the next level. And so we're planning on doing that right here. Speaking of, Gilmer County also with several expected to sign this week. 5 Gilmer Bobcat and Lady Cat athletes, again, should be confirming their decisions this week. Evan Mentor for swimming, Grace Henderson for soccer, she was definitely a standout, Carolina Teague for volleyball, Marie Goswick for softball, and Aubrey Cagle to sign with track for Gilmer. Again, that just all out of Gilmer County. Team FYN Sports guy Luther Kinsey will cover the signings this week, and we will have a complete wrap-up and story for you next week right here on the Instant Replay. Let's move on to golf. Talking with Coach Parker a little bit earlier in the show, I had alluded to Pickens County junior Catherine Dinsmore. What a job this young lady has done. Her 3rd year in high school, 3 state appearances. She finished 2nd in the area with a score of 78, and she'll be making her 3rd state appearance. This year's tournament will be held at the Innsbruck Golf Club up in Helen, and it'll take place May 21st and 22nd. So in about 3 weeks, we're going to see Catherine Dinsmore kind of take it to the next level in her own right. Now, she still has 1 more year of high school, but I would completely expect, and not to put any pressure on our young student athletes, but I would expect that Catherine Dinsmore may very well be one of those, if she so chooses to take her game to the next level as well, and she may very well work her way into that segment of our program next year. But congratulations to Catherine. What a season it has been for the junior from Pickens High School on the links. Track and field, a busy last couple of weeks. Dawson County hosted the 7 AAA Region Track and Field meet on the 18th of April, and with top 4 finishes from each of the events qualifying for state sectionals to be held at Greater Atlanta Christian, the Lady Tigers did very well. They had 5 girls qualify for the sectionals. Frankie Muldoon was crowned as the region champ in the 800 and 1600 meter events. Jenna LaCour's 2nd in the 3200. Caitlin Martin was 4th in the 100 meter hurdles. Anna Lowe was the region champion in the shot put. Brianna Ray was 3rd in the pole vault. And the Tiger relay teams qualified in the 4x100 and 4x400 meter events. Congratulations to the Lady Tigers of Dawson County, who have put together quite an impressive track and field season this year. Other results from the area, the state sectionals for Gilmer and Pickens were this past weekend down in Columbus, and some great individual efforts for Gilmer. Naomi Coombs was one of those athletes that stood out. She won the 1,600 meter event, or the mile as it's commonly known to most of us folks here. But again, Naomi Coombs, a freshman at Gilmer High School, winning the 1,600 meter event. She will qualify and head to the state meet at Berry College. Congratulations to Naomi, highlighting some of the Bobcat efforts there. PHS, again, Pickens, as Coach Parker alluded to, another great season here for track and field this past weekend. Olivia Moore qualified for the state meet in the 100 meter hurdles and the pole vault. She's headed to Georgia Tech, it looks like, on a scholarship in the pole vault there. Will Giambra in the pole vault, Matt Webb in the pole vault. A lot of good pole vaulters in Pickens County. Zach Goss qualifying for the state meet in the high jump. Sabrina Young in the 3,200 meter event. She's been awesome to watch as a runner at Pickens High and middle school, even over the last several years, has been awesome. And Connor Moranos qualifying in the 3,200 meter event as well on the boys side. Connor's been very consistent over his years at PHS as well. So congratulations to all of those track and field standouts on an excellent season, but they're not done yet. They are going to be headed to the state meet over at Berry, and certainly excited about that. Now, we do want to remind folks that this show is interactive. Last week, it was our first week, and we wanted to kind of put the launch out there. I had Luther Kinsey with me in studio as we talked a lot about high school sports. We touched on some regional and national stuff as well, but I do want to encourage folks that you can call in. If you want to be part of the show, you're welcome to do that. All you got to do is pick up the phone, like Coach Parker did just a few minutes ago, and call us at 706-889-9700. Again, the line is the same, 706-889-9700. If you're a little camera shy and you don't want to talk to us on the air, you're always welcome to email us with your stats, photos, results, scores. If you want to post something, even if it's your Little League grandson or granddaughter, please feel free to do that. You're welcome to email us at Team FYN Sports. That's Team FYN Sports at fetchyournews.com. Team FYN Sports at fetchyournews.com. Send us any pictures, any remarks, any score updates, any results. If you have a student athlete that has moved on to the next level and they have excelled, then please share that news with us. Folks like Matthew Waddell, for example, I had a good conversation with his dad, Mark, over the weekend. Matthew, of course, graduating from Gilmer High School, now out at the University of Oklahoma on a wrestling scholarship, and he continues to tear it up. One of just a few wrestlers from Oklahoma that was invited to a big tournament out in Las Vegas, a big national tournament there, and Matthew did very well in that tournament. And I continue to congratulate the Waddell family because, man, I tell you what, Matthew, as we all know, is a hard worker in his 4 years at Gilmer High School, multiple state champion. Now he's wrestling at the University of Oklahoma and doing a great job there. So again, Matthew, just one of many from among our local area that have since moved on and are now playing collegiately as they've extended both their academic and athletic talents to the next level. We want to hear from you. So again, if you're someone out there that has a student athlete that's moved on and is now playing in college, or maybe you've got a park and rec player who slugged 2 or 3 out of the ballpark the other night, we want to know about it. If it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it, but we need your help because we want you to help us feed stuff as well. Maybe there's something out there that we missed, so we want to know about it. Call us. Let us know about it right here live on the program, 10 a.m. on Monday, 706-889-9700. Or the best way to reach us throughout the week is to email us at teamfynsports at fetchyournews.com. We're going to go ahead and take another break. That is the second quarter portion of our program in the books, but we still have half the show left. And I'm almost out of breath right now talking about all the things that we've had so far. But I still got plenty more to take. I hope you do as well. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about the changing of the guard, some news out of Dawson County. And Luther Kinsey is standing by with Coach Mike Duffy, the head boys basketball coach in Pickens County. All that and much more straight ahead on this week's edition of the Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
One.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Instant Replay. What a beautiful weekend it was. Yesterday it was so nice being out next to the pool there a little bit. I didn't get in yet. It's not quite that warm, but I did get a little bit of sunshine. Amanda, how about you? Amanda's, again, is behind the glass here today. How about you? Did you get any sun this weekend?
Well, I wasn't brave enough to go into the pool. Wow, I would not do that yet. But I did do some yard work this weekend. Yeah,
well, I got a lot done yesterday in the yard, too. Yeah, now let me clarify. I didn't jump in the pool. You're right.
Yeah.
Not quite warm enough to do that yet. We had to skim it, though. There's a lot of leaves and stuff. We're getting it ready because later this week, I think temperatures are supposed to be into the 80s a couple of days this week.
I know. I'm so excited.
So if you're like me and you love warm weather, you're very excited about the forecast for the rest of the week there. So, but anyway, Amanda's a little bit of I guess you're a little bit of a redhead, so you might be a little fair skinned. I don't know how well do you tan?
I tan pretty well.
You tan pretty well?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's half Cherokee Indian.
Okay, well there you go. Well, I don't want to get too personal, but I was just wondering about that because I know sometimes the redheads can be a little fair skinned, but no, I mean it's I'm excited about the weather, and so glad to be getting out there. Glad to be getting out there in it this week, and hopefully you will too as we transition into May. I cannot believe that it is May this week. right here. Wow, it's just unbelievable. And May always is a very big. April is probably the busiest month. I always said that back when I was doing sports full time, that April was probably the craziest, busiest month of the year when it comes to sports, especially high school, just because, like Coach Parker said in our last sub, you got so many things going on. You got 5, and if you count spring football on the tail end of that, you really got 6. But, golf, track, tennis, soccer, baseball. I mean, for almost all those sports, there's boys and girls. So really, it's like 5 sports, but it's almost like 9 or 10, really. So it's just crazy. But May, when you get into May, you start getting into the postseason as well, and we're seeing that with the state meets and the state events and all those sorts of things. So it's an exciting time. It's awesome, and I'm so glad and so thankful that we have some warm weather this week and some sunshine to enjoy it in. Time now for our changing of the guard segment. Now, again, this is basically anytime we have a coaching change or a personnel change in our local area, we like to let you guys know about it. And Dawson County, some news out of Dawsonville. Current athletic director of Dawson County High School has announced that he will retire at the end of the year. However, there has already been a replacement name. Taking the helm as the new AD for the Tigers will be former Jefferson head girls basketball coach Jason Gibson. Now, if you know anything about Jefferson, you know that they have had quite a run over the years in several different sports, obviously wrestling, but girls basketball is one of those that is also produced. Gibson will start as not only the AD, but also as the assistant principal at Dawson County High School. A little bit of background on Gibson, just so you know. He was a Jefferson alum. As a basketball player, he scored 2,400 points. In high school, he played college ball at the University of West Georgia before transferring to University of North Georgia as a sophomore, and he scored well over 1,000 points for his career in just 3 years. He currently holds the University of North Georgia record for the most three-pointers in a game with 9, and so a good pedigree for Jason Gibson, who now looks to move into the administrative part of things in Dawson County as the assistant principal and new athletic director at Dawson County High School. So congratulations there to Coach Jason Gibson. We look forward to working with him and all of the folks, Go Tigers and Lady Tigers over in Dawson County. Speaking of our changing of the guard, our very own Team FYN Sports, Luther Kinsey is sitting down with Mike Duffy, who was recently named as the new head boys basketball coach in Pickens County, where he replaces Brad Steinhauer. Again, Luther Kinsey, a member of Team FYN Sports. Let's listen in on that interview.
Right. Good morning. Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports, an instant replay. I'm here with Coach Mike Duffy, the new head coach of Pickens County boys basketball. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing just fine today.
Good deal, good deal. So how's it feel to come to Pickens County?
Well, I'm excited. It's been a good first week. I got up here early so I could get familiar with the boys and work some of them out and maybe get an early start. And it's been a great first week.
Good deal. Well, in my research of you, you come from a very good pedigree of basketball.
We've had some success.
Now, you went to J.J. Kelly High School in Wise, Virginia. Did you play there?
Yes, I did.
What position was it?
I was a wing player.
Wing.
Yes,
good
sir.
Deal. Good deal.
I shot too much.
All right. From there, you went on to Clinch Valley College, which is now University of Virginia Wise.
Right. That's where I finished. When I left high school, I was a baseball player. I played baseball at Gadsden State in Gadsden, Alabama, and then transferred from there to Columbus State. And the old arm went, and back in those days, it's not quite the surgery they have today, so I had a choice, and I gave it up and went and finished school at Clinch Valley.
Okay. Did you play basketball there?
Nope. I played just baseball.
Just baseball.
I was just a gym rat. I was always, the college coaches were always very gracious to allow me to hang around and listen and learn, and that's what I did.
Awesome. Well, that's learning is what it's all about.
That's it.
If we could get these younger people to listen more and learn more, go further in life.
It would help. It would
definitely help. Where did you start your high school coaching career?
Model High School, Rome, Georgia.
Rome, Georgia.
I started with a guy named Milt Travis. I was his assistant for 4 years, and that was I started with a great group of men. A guy named Tab Gable was the head football coach. Jimmy Bennett was the defensive coordinator. Wayne Huntley was the principal, and they taught me a lot about how to build programs. Because when we went to model, they were all down. Basketball was bad, football was bad, and that group of men showed me how to build a program and the steps you need to go through and take to do that. And I'll always be grateful to those guys.
Well, I did notice that you are known as a builder of programs.
Right. I've been fortunate. I've taken over several. You know, when I went to Macon County, they'd won 10 games, and when I went to Morristown East, they were off a 2-win season. I went to Gordon Central, they were off a winless season. When I went to Dalton, they were off a 5-win season. So I've always taken those kind of challenges. So this one's no different. I'm excited for it.
Good deal. I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm sorry.
I got you.
Well, at Dalton, you've been there for the last 12 years.
12 years.
217 wins, 101 losses.
They're wrong.
They're wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, it's 218 and 92.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
That sounds
I don't
better.
know where they got that number, but it's 218 and 92. So.
Well, you know, that just goes to show you.
Yeah, well, I think they use max preps, and they just counted, and that's not always accurate when you go back.
That is very true. Very true.
The paper never called me on it. So.
Well, leave it to me to do that
there
for
you go.
Right, how many state appearances did you have at Dalton?
5.
Okay, well, they got that right.
Yeah, we played,
I got that right.
We played for 4 region championships and had a 3rd place finish one year.
Awesome, awesome. You made it to the 2nd round?
Yes, sir.
One time?
Yes, sir. Had to play Columbia in their gym. That was fun. It was tough.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, coming to Pickens, what is your philosophy going to be as far as working with these guys? I know previous coach, you know, had his thing that he instilled in the young men as far as practicing and working hard. Every coach is different. What do you plan to bring to Pickens County High School in boys basketball?
You know, I worked out with some of the seniors yesterday. I had 3 of them with me yesterday, and we talked about accountability, where they stand, and who's responsible for this. You know, at the end of the day, the coach can only do so much.
Right.
The kids have to want to win. They have to want to work to win. They have to be accountable to each other, and that's what I talk to them about: being accountable to each other, the team, and their coaches. Because I told them I'm going to be there. I'll be accountable. I'll be there. I'll show up. I'm going to work you hard. I'm going to demand you do certain things to get better. And if you're willing to do those, I think you'll get better. And I think they were open to it, and they were accepting of that view of accountability.
Okay, good deal. Awesome. Well, I know in football they have kind of the spring practice and spring games.
Right.
And that kind of thing. Does basketball offer anything like that?
No.
Does Georgia High School give you the option to be able to go play other people in off season?
No, not until after school's out. Okay. Once school's out, we can do what we want. So I'm hoping to finalize the schedule today for our summer workouts and scrimmages and whatnot. So we'll do that through about June 20th. And I know we're working out with Murray County one day and Gordon Central one day. We've got, we're going over to Union County for a couple things. We're going down to Northwest for a couple of scrimmages. So we'll have a busy summer.
Good. Look forward to it. Have you met with the whole team? Or just the seniors? Or?
No, I met with a group of prospective players.
Okay.
So I really haven't had a team meeting per se. Okay. I've met individual kids, and I've talked to some, and like I said, I had a workout yesterday with a few, and I'll schedule a few more of those with other kids next week. So I just want to get to know them and meet them and let them get to know me.
Well, I'm sure they're glad to have you. Like I said, your record that you bring in is it speaks for itself.
We've had some good players, and
you've set standards at every program you've came to, and increased their wins.
Always leave it better than you find it.
Exactly. And there's no doubt in my mind, after meeting you the other day and talking to you today, not only are you going to increase the wins for Pickens County Dragons, but you're also increase just their attitudes and just help them along in life, and that's probably the most important, in my opinion.
That has sort of been my stock and trade. No matter what sport I'm coaching, relationships are big to me. To this day, I have, I get phone calls from former players, some in their 40s. I know I don't look old enough to have players that old, but I've got my oldest former player's 51.
Oh, wow.
But and as you mentioned earlier, I coach softball. The softball girls they call a lot. I get a lot of calls. Yes. I go to weddings. I go see babies. It's awesome. That's what I love about this business, and that's what I do it for.
Good deal. So, speaking of softball, I just have to ask: any thoughts about possibly joining the ranks?
No. I'm 33 years in. I'm down to one sport. That's all I can do. I used to do 3, but now one's plenty for me.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting down with me and talking. Look forward to a good season. R.J. Casey covers Pickens County Sports here at the Pickens County area, and he will be all over it.
All right. We look forward to it.
Hopefully you'll meet him soon, and if you haven't already.
I have.
And he is great. He does a great job for you, and he'll be putting all your wins, and
I hope we have a few.
Hopefully more of those than the losses, of course. But he'll be covering you all season when it gets going, and of course, Team FYN Sports is here for you as well.
Okay.
We'll do anything we can.
We're excited. We're excited with the opportunity. I think the kids are excited, so we just got to get to work and get it done.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Once again, it's Luther Kinsey with Team FYN Sports. Sat down with Coach Mike Duffy, the new head basketball coach for the boys Dragons. Back to you, Dave.
You're right, man.
All right, thanks, Luther. We appreciate that. A good interview there with Mike Duffy, again, the new PHS boys basketball coach in Pickens County. We're going to go ahead and take another timeout. When we return, we'll move to some more regional and national sports news. Stay with us as the instant replay continues live right here on FYNTV.com.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hot.
And welcome back to this week's edition of the Instant Replay right here on FYNTV.com. Again, Team FYN Sports, Team FYN Sports presenting the Instant Replay. Now, this show is live on Mondays, so if you're watching this on April 30th, you indeed are watching live. If you're watching it on another day, then you're more than likely watching an encore of the program. But again, it airs throughout the week right here, Monday through Thursday on FYNTV.com. We encourage you to check it out. And so again, it's a lot of fun. We thank you for joining us once again. And we want to thank Coach Chris Parker and Coach Mike Duffy for joining us on the program this morning. Again, Mike Duffy sitting down with our own Luther Kinsey, and Chris Parker joining us up top live earlier today on the program, talking about the new renovations to the PHS Dragon Stadium, and also getting ready for spring practice, also recapping a little bit of the spring sports season, which has been very, very busy around our entire area, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. Also threw out a phone number and an email address early in the show, and I want to remind folks, again, you are welcome to submit stories to us, story ideas, any stats or results from any ball games out there. They can be park and rec. It doesn't have to be high school. It can be park and rec, middle school, you'll name it, you name it. Give us a call, 706-889-9700, or email us at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. A lot of great high school sports here today. The first 3 quarters of this program were dedicated to high school sports because we had so much going on. But now we're going to switch gears and talk a little bit about some of the regional and national things that are happening here in the last 5 minutes or so of the program. And let's start with a regional recap. Again, the Atlanta United, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. What a victory on Saturday over Montreal at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta United trailed 1-0 at the break, but came back with a 4-goal second half effort led by Miguel Almiron, and Kratz also had 2 as well. You like how I try to say the names officially? Almiron. But anyway, the Atlanta United now atop the Eastern Division standings with that win. They have the best record in the MLS. They have the most points in the Eastern Conference with 19, leading the New York City team, and also the Sporting KC Kansas City team, who both have 17 right now. But what a season it's been. We talked about it last week on the first program with Luther sitting right here beside me, how much the city of Atlanta, and really the state for that matter, has embraced this soccer team. Who would have thought? Atlanta has such a bad reputation as being a bad sports town. And, when you look at what the Atlanta United has brought, the passion that they've brought to the city of Atlanta, their fans that show up in droves. If you're a national pundit, how can you look at that? And this also kind of plays into, I guess this could be my rant of the week as well, but how can you look into that and say that Atlanta is not a passionate sports town? We're just passionate about other things. I mean, up in the Northeast, college football is not as big. It's all about their pro sports, their pro football, and their basketball. But here in the South, we have NASCAR, we have college football, baseball. We have a lot of fan bases that are built into this area, but who would have thought that soccer would now be one of the most passionate fan bases in Atlanta, as this town has really embraced the Atlanta United, and they're good on top of that. So that makes the excitement even more. Congratulations to the United. We'll keep up with their progress as well. How about those Atlanta Braves? We talked about it up top here in the show today. Ronald Acuna and Ozzie Albies, two of the youngest stars in Major League Baseball. And I tell you what, Albies was with us a little bit last year, but he is coming on now. He's basically one of the top hitters in the league, as the stats show as of today. And how about Ronald Acuna? Since being called up, he has been on a tear. And I was a little bit worried about him because when he was down in the minors before they called him up, he was struggling. And Brian Snitker, the Atlanta Braves manager, said, I think he's just trying too hard. But they went ahead, they called him up, and ever since then he's been on a tear. So whatever he's been doing it right. And man, I tell you what, the Atlanta Braves have us talking. There's excitement back in this program. And you look at Falcons, you look at Atlanta United, you look at the Atlanta sports teams. The Atlanta Braves have kind of fallen off. I mean, again, after that 14 string of division champs, so they've barely made it into the postseason since that time. I'm excited. For the first time in a long time, I'm excited about the Atlanta Braves. And that's an awesome thing to say, because when you think about history and tradition of Atlanta sports, you can say what you want about the excitement level of some of the other teams, but you know, this is an Atlanta Braves town. The Braves have always been that team that really has kind of defined this city, in my opinion anyway. And so it's good to see the Atlanta Braves not being in the basement right now, but rather contending for the lead in the MLS Eastern standings. So I'm excited for the Braves, as you should be as a fan, and I'm actually excited to get down to the new stadium. I did once last year, but hopefully it'll be a few more times this year as we cheer on those Braves. Let's get that tomahawk chop going again. How about that? All righty. Best of the rest, NBA playoffs. So what's going on there? Again, the Cavs edging the Pacers in Game 7 over the weekend. The Cavs now take on the number 1 seeded Raptors out of the Eastern Conference. That series beginning on Tuesday of this week. And the Celtics also in a Game 7 against the Bucks, and they were able to win. We're the Celtics. Up next for those guys is the 76ers. On the Western Conference side, round 2 has already began for those two. The Warriors up on the Pelicans 1-0, and the Rockets lead the Jazz 1-0 over the weekend there. So again, those series already off and running on the Western Conference side. Once again, it's been an awesome show here today. We thank you for joining us each and every week, Monday morning, right here live on FYNTV.com, following a Good Morning from the Office with BKP. And again, a couple hours there leads into this hour right here. So we've got a full block for you in the morning, starting at 8 a.m. all the way until 11 a.m. on the East Coast. And we appreciate you guys tuning in once again for another edition. Just a reminder, again, that phone number, 706-889-9700. Also, our email. Feel free to email us with any information you may have at teamfynsports@fetchernews.com. That's going to wrap things up for the program. Once again, I'm Dave Garner. Big shout out to Luther Kinsey of Team FYN Sports for sitting down with Mike Duffy and feeding us a lot of the information here today. And until next time, we are looking forward to talking a little bit more about these college signings that are taking place in our local area, as well as recapping for some of the state results throughout the different sports, which we'll have for you over the next couple of weeks. And we're going to begin to tease a little bit more spring football coverage, because we know everyone's excited about that as we eventually set our sights on the fall season, which seems like a ways off, but as you guys know, it's not at all. It's right around the corner, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us right here on the only live online sports show in North Georgia that happens every week. It's called the Instant Replay, and we'll do it again next Monday for you right here on FYNTV.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. I'm Dave Garner. Have a great week.